So I'll keep it short, but I would like to at least land the messaging that I have today before I close it. It's pretty tight to convey everything that I have on my top of my mind and everything that I had planned to share with you all. But I just want to quickly run. So it's the next era of AI building, and I'll just skip through the journey for today because I won't be able to do justice to all that I had planned to share with you all. But there's a short video that I really want to play, and let me see how much you guys catch the messaging that is there. And I'm sure you're going to be happy by the end of this video.
Employees into agent skills is never easier. Distill.
Morning, boss.
Distill!
What?
Morning, boss.
Distill!
What's that?
Distill! 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 Let's try one more time. Distill!
Morning, boss.
Nothing! It's a scam! It worked! I don't need employees anymore!
What do we do now?
Skill is nothing without human.
Don't worry, we will be back.
Do you want to proceed?
Yes, yes, and yes. Time for a nap. Oh no! Someone please help! Guess who's calling?
I'm sure you guys love this, right? With the kind of things that are happening today, the layoffs that you hear, we really want that we should be valued, plus have AI where it can actually add value to my journey, to every employee, every organization. And I feel if there is someone who thinks this is how it is, I can just build an agent AI solution, and I can take off some 10 of my employees, and they are on the wrong track. That is exactly what I want to land today, because the way we are talking about the way we are heading and this at the speed that we are heading today, by 2028 we'll have about 1.3 billion agents, and literally it is like every 6 people on the planet will have one agent. That's how it's going to be. But the way we have the low code no code today, I'm sure it's going to even cross this number, and that is exactly what I want to show. This is a vision. You should understand where we are heading and how we are heading in every organization today. I engage with a lot of customers in ITIS, banking, public sector, and manufacturing, all of them. And they all are looking at how they can transform, how they can take on this AI transformation. The first thing that we always tell them is to leverage what is already available. And you all know, and I think even the session that was just before me is about where we started off with Ask Me Anything about 1.5 years, and I'm sure everybody would have played around with it. And you can just ask question and you get response. It's not only professionals, even my daughter today, if she's stuck with some topic, it just so happened when our exams were going on, she said to my husband that, Dada, I have a question. And my husband was happy because he just loves to teach. He said, yes, what do you want to know? He said, no, I want your mobile. Because I have to ask the, chat GPT, because that's the kind of experience that we have today. To learn any new topic, you don't really have to invest a lot of time, but you really need to have the same rigor of learning every day and what is going on. It's not that you just gravitate towards something that is coming new, but you should understand that completely and also understand how each organization is thinking today. So we have already shifted from Ask Me Anything to Task Me Anything. I'm sure you would have played around with Claude as well. So when we say Ask Me Anything, Task Me Anything, the way we are heading is, I'm not sure if you have seen this, Twitter, where one of the person was almost about to lose the deal, but he got it just because AI was working on it. And today, in every solution that you have that AI working deep. It's not just the solution that you're building, but every solution that you touch as part of your day job, you have AI infused in it. And that's what Microsoft today is also looking at and is working towards that. And this is what I asked a prompt, and I'll just show what the end the web page look like, it just could create a web page in just about a prompt and just in just few minutes. So when you have something at this speed, you should also know where you have to head and where you have to invest your time in, and what you need to understand with this speed. So let me just walk you through on what, I'll just skip through this. While we also, in the digital world, I can just prompt and get actions done, and I'll show you a co-work on that as well. You can ask and get information as well. The same way, the way you can see here, it's about in the physical world, the robots are doing just, I don't really have to train. You have to pick up things this way and you need to place it. I don't have to train these robots any of those instructions, but just by a prompt that can you pick this and fix it, the robots are able to do it. That's the place that we are in. That's where we are heading in when we talk about the physical AI. Okay, so all this is great, but what we generally get to hear from organization is the demos are impressive, but how do we bring things on production? So what really matters when we talk about bringing things onto production is having that structure in mind, how you're heading and what you're leveraging, right? So the Frontier firm, any of you have heard about Frontier firm? So Frontier Firm is a narrative. If you ask any organization, this is how we are heading towards what we want to achieve with AI and Agentic era. So when we started off with, I'm just coming back to the Microsoft narrative just so that you can relate to it. But you can think about ChatGPT as well if you want to understand what this framework is all about. This is human with AI assistance. And then we move on to human agent team. So where today, as part of my team, we have multiple agents that reports to me. And when my manager calls it out that we are a team of 10, out of 10, 5 are actually agents. And that's what we are looking at. And that's what is the reality today, that human and agents are working together. What we are doing is we're not replacing anyone here. We are looking at how some of those mundane and repetitive tasks that are there, how I can hand it off to an agent can take that and work on it. So when we say human led agent operated, it is more about how you can get into that autonomous agent phase, where you understand that these are some of the things which it can perform autonomously. Like for example, there is an RFP request that comes in, and it may be somewhere around late evening, and you don't really have to just get started working on it, right? You may have an agent which looks into it, crafts the information that it needs. It tracks and gets across all the information that is available within the organization and builds a nice document and report for you. By the time you log in tomorrow morning, you have that information ready. So that's the kind of autonomous agent that we are looking at. So this is where we talk about, and if you see my org chart today at Microsoft, it's where I am a senior enterprise architect. I have few agents that report to me. One that is my M365 Copilot, which is my personal assistant, which goes across, gets information and brings it to me as I need. Then comes the agent that assists me, and then the agents that I supervise. So if I have to come to this page, the space, then we are actually shifting from an app-centric workflow to an agent-centric workflow, right? So that's where I want to give you. I'm just skipping through few slides because I had planned to walk you through on those, but it's more good to just have those demos live so you can understand what I'm talking about. When you want to scale AI, there are two things which are super important. One is the intelligence, because the data matters. Garbage in, garbage out, right? If you don't give the right data, the kind of responses that you get from an agent would also be a garbage. It will not be the way you want to, the way you are expecting it. And then comes trust. As you know, there are tons of applications today and solutions today which is available, like even the one that was shown in the previous session. You can just prompt, you can build an agent, you can build a web page. And when things are so fast, the number of agents that will be built within an organization, be it for a single employee, is going to be in great numbers, right? When things like that is progressing, you need to also bring in trust. You also need to bring in security, compliance, and governance in place. And that is what I mean by intelligence plus trust here. And that's where I would like to introduce you to Agent 365, what we have brought together. Agent 365 is about every agent having a unique identity, just like unique ID, just like the way you would have as an employee within an organization. So what it does, just like the way, in fact, it has more, micromanaging kind of details about what an agent does, because that is what you need. It just cannot be a black box that it has performed the task and you don't know what it has done. So that's where the Agent 365 has a complete capture of not only the agents that are built by Microsoft, but also built from your third party application or any of the, it could be in Google, AWS, perfectly fine. You can bring them all and you will have one consolidated, unified experience of all the agents that are built for your organization. So when we talk about, your people, your agent, your IQ, from interactive to autonomous as you go, you all you need is the Microsoft IQ here, which connects to the roles, state and action of business, and the curated knowledge that you have. It's very important that when you build an agent, you have that right set of knowledge base that can be quickly connected to it, and it should be reusable as well. And that's where we get to the point where, so we talk about any data. There are two oceans of data. One is structured and the other one is unstructured. And what we are trying to solve is the intelligent gap that is there between the both. And the live signals, the real time signals to the data that is generated every minute is humongous. And that's where you need something like a one lake, or a data fabric, where over that you can have those intelligent layer that comes across. So this is where I would want to call out on the context, the decision, and the action. So that forms the intelligence layer, and that is what is powering the agent as well. So if you see here, work IQ is all about the productivity. When you start your day, there are a lot of activities that you perform within your organization based on the productivity applications, emails. There are so much of a conversation that happens in your collaboration solutions, right? There has to be some connected solution that looks into all of these and can assist you. And that's where the work IQ comes into picture. Because we don't train our models with customer data, we have brought in a concept of work IQ so that it brings in that personalization. When you're leveraging, it's able to read through that and give you exactly what you're doing. It's literally like a shadow that you may have, which understands what you're doing and gives you the information that you are looking. Fabric IQ is where you have structured data and you need a intelligence over that. That is what it serves for it. And Foundry IQ is where you can build that intelligence layer as well, where you want to build, you know, like if suppose you want to bring in information from multiple data source and you created a knowledge base, and that is something that can be made available for multiple agents that you create. I'll just run through a short video that can give you a quick understanding of what it is. So what work IQ does is it brings in that personalization. So far, we never had something like that, because every time you prompt, you had to give that context on what you're looking, how you want the responses to be. But now with the help of work IQ, we are able to get that personalization. So this is how I start my day. I just wanted to play this where I ask my Copilot, my personal assistant that is there, how my day looks like. So it gives me a complete, information about what are some of my top priorities for the day. What is that I need to look into? How can I close my day as well? So let me just play this for you.
So before I start, one quick on before wrapping up. First, from your earlier activities that I have done, what are the top 3 things I should focus on right now before I close my day? All right, based on everything on your plate today, here are the top 3 things I think you should focus on before wrapping up. First, from your earlier meeting on AI-ready cloud data foundations, there are a few follow-ups, like checking metrics availability for multi-agent orchestration and clarifying Power BI licensing transitions. Those action items seem pretty critical to follow up on. Second, you've got a high priority concern around math portal access that's causing delays for a colleague's RFP.
So I asked the next question. I'm just speeding up. I asked the next question on what are those five top things that I have to close for today, which is super critical and I cannot take it forward. So once I get that information, what I do, I just go to Copilot Cowork that I have, and I hand off two of my tasks onto Copilot Cowork to perform, because those are mundane and repetitive tasks, which a cowork can do it for me, which is an agent which sits within a Copilot, and it's just an at mention away for me. And the rest, I can focus on the two other, activity that I have to perform as part of my day. So before we go get there, I just want to show, quickly run through this video on what Fabric IQ is all about.
Today's world moves faster than most organizations can react. Problems and opportunities appear in real time. Signals pour in from every direction, changing second by second. The volume easily becomes overwhelming. To stay ahead, your business needs to see itself not as fragmented data, but as a unified living system. One system that shows what's connected, what's changing, and what every action will affect. A system that lets your teams and AI think in the language of your business, from the smallest detail to the big picture, instantly, intuitively, and connected. Together, people and AI agents operate as one team, not only spotting issues and opportunities, but also understanding the full context and what to do. AI agents continuously monitor and act when it makes sense. They also recommend options and coordinate in real time with their teammates. Decisions become actions. Actions ripple across the organization, changing outcomes in the moment. This is the modern business, people and AI operating as one system in real time.
So that is what we are looking for today, right? When there are a lot of data that is being generated, it's important that it's not just about the data. When we speak to a lot of organization today, the CEO and CTO, they are not looking at a dashboard or a report that they want to look in, because though gone are those days where they want to look into the report and understand what that report is talking about their business. Rather, now they want to get into more conversational. And when you want it conversational, when you want to have those reports in conversational, you need to have a data agent or a analyst kind of a data scientist kind of a agent that is available. For that, you need the right data that is coming in. And the Fabric IQ is, if you're not using Microsoft, it's completely fine, but you can understand the concept that is going. That's the way it is when you manage the data. When we talk about the Fabric IQ, it builds that semantic knowledge about all the data that is available, and no data is in silo. So within an organization, when you bring in your complete data into one lake, and then you have a Fabric IQ, it has more connected information. It can not only just give you the data points when you ask in the conversation, but also it can help you in making decision. Remember the first slide that I showed about, they were able to crack a deal which they had completely lost it. They were able to crack it only because it was able to understand and unearth those intelligence which was not visible to us, because data and information is all in silos and it's not connected. And that's what the value of Fabric IQ brings in. Let's look into Foundry quickly. So this is where Foundry is a way you can build those intelligent layer. I can bring in information from multiple sources. I can have those connected sources and then create a knowledge base. And how does that work? You have a model right there in Founder IQ, which you can select, build that. So every prompt that is being taken, which a user sends, it splits it up, understands that which part of the prompt, which is the data source that it has to connect. It brings in all that information. It does the evaluation, sends it to an SLM, and then reworks on it so that you get that perfect response. And those are the kind of knowledge base that you can create in Foundry today, and leveraging Foundry IQ. And those are reusable knowledge bases. Suppose within the organization, once you have this data and once you have this intelligence, even work IQ for that reason, when you let me know if I'm not audible. Even without the mic, I think I'm quite audible here. So, so once you have these intelligence, you know exactly from where the information has to come in. One is the work IQ that brings in the productivity, intelligence on every activity that is happening, not only in emails but meetings that you discuss. You don't really have to manually bring in that information. Work IQ understands, and it would have that intelligence already. And then comes the fabric IQ and the foundry IQ that you just saw. So we have all the intelligence. What next, right? So you need one an app or a interface where you have to bring in all of these intelligence together. So that's where we are talking about when we I'm mentioning in terms of Microsoft, because I'm representing Microsoft, but you should be thinking about when you build an agent, how you can unify that experience today. Just before the AI era, all the organization, they were loaded with apps and they didn't know how to unify them. And then they were thinking about the super apps, so that they can bring in all those apps and have one super app. And then it's easy for people to get to the point, get to the apps and agents that they're looking for. So this is where we bring in UI for AI and the platform maker as well. The platform maker that was there next to UI for AI is where we enable not just the pro developers on how they can build, but also the citizen developer plus just the business users, how they can build it. I just want to share one of the trend that has come in even within our organization. Earlier, HR leaders, finance leader, they would ask for, can you build an app for me? This is what we want, so that we bring in a structure to the kind of things that are happening within the organization, so that we can go back and know where we can look for, even for an audit or something like that. But today they don't want to do that. Today, when finance leaders and HR leaders reach out to us, they say, this is what we want to achieve. Just can you handhold me for the first time? And I would like to build it from here on. Because today, it's not just the developers, it's the business users and even the citizen developer. They want to build it by themselves because they are the ones who really understand the business process. So there won't be anything like I have to brief about the process that is there, and then someone else builds the app, and then you go in that cycle. So this is a time where I just, when we talk about this architecture here, we have a UI for AI, we have the platform for AI makers. The ones that you can see here are out of the box, a SaaS solution. Most of the organization, when they start off their AI transformation, they look for solution which are SaaS based and for enterprise and their expertise, and something that is completely grounded. Like for example, it could be legal or healthcare. They have their enterprise and organizational knowledge that they have, and they want to build something grounds up from there. So that is where they go for the pro code approach, which is AI Foundry, where they leverage the models that they want to leverage, which is the latest ones, plus build the complete orchestration layer and have an agent built for their own organization. But most of the things, what we see is 70%, and there's a slide for that as well. So what is a prediction by Gartner is 70% of the agents that will be built by 2027 will be built on low code, no code. And I'm sure everybody agree with it, because that's what you see the trend, the vibe coding. You can just share a prompt and build an agent. And let me show something similar to that. I'm just skipping through this. So this is where the co-work is all about. Yeah. So you saw when I was having a conversation, I got to know that there are about 5 tasks that I need to complete for today. If I have to really take off the critical ones within my day, I just hand off 3 of them to co-work. I don't really have to handhold or even give one after the other. It can just take all of those tasks at once. It's just a prompt I just share, and I can have multiple tasks running within Cowork. Cowork is powered by Anthropic models that are there. What you have, Claude Chat, it is local, and it is available for you on your laptop. But this is a cloud-based Cowork, which is Copilot Cowork, and it performs the same thing. You can just hand off the task that you have, and it performs. Even sending out, like you have some 10 emails that you need to send, you just give a prompt saying that these are the people, these are the emails that you have to send, this is the context of what I want to send for each of them. It will just send it. Or you may say that, let me look into the draft that you crafted before you send. Only then it stops. Otherwise, it just sends across the email as well. Even if it is scheduling, it automatically looks for what the time that works best for all of your attendees, and it will automatically schedule the meetings as well. So this is where I was working on where I had a meeting, and I had to just get a briefing on the topic that I had to do on ADAS technology in automotive. I could just get that briefing done with some of the internal documents that I have, and I could build it, and I could just walk through that. And it just took me about 15 minutes to just go through it, build that context, and then present it. So that's where Cowork is all about. And this is the architecture of a Cowork, where the Cowork agent runtime that is there, that's where you can think of it like a project manager. It understands what are the multiple tasks that are available, and how to build the context across everything that you're running at that point of time. And the secure execution sandbox, so this is what stands out as opposed to what you have in Cloud Cowork. In Copilot Cowork, you have this completely on cloud. So you can just hand a few tasks to Cowork, and you can just shut down your laptop, and because it runs on the cloud, it would have completed that task for you. So suppose you're taking a flight. Before getting on a flight, you can just hand off few tasks to Copilot Cowork, and by the time you get down, you have all of those tasks performed by the Cowork. So why this is important is because for you to understand.
We begin inside Microsoft 365 Copilot. On the left, you can see Opel listed alongside.
Sometimes to save energy, I have those recording. It's my own voice. So what I wanted to touch upon here, this is a Opel project Opel. When you hand off a task, like in this case, I'm invoking Opel, and I'm giving a task which is completely mundane. That is, go to a particular application or a page, capture those screenshots, and have those screenshots recorded in a folder, because that is required for compliance audit purpose. But that's such a repetitive and mundane task, right? You would not want to do it. And I'm sure everyone here who travel a lot, expense reimbursement is a pain, right? You really don't want to do that. Everything else is fine, but finding those receipts and then apply and submit those expense reimbursement. So with Claude, with Cowork that we have, we could create an expense reimbursement agent. I would just tell where the data is, and it would automatically create those expense report and submit on my behalf. So that is where we are. So it's no more getting a response, but it is where it is already taking an action. So what Opel does is, and I'm sure if you have heard about computer use, you know that it spins up a computer, a virtual PC, and it runs all of those tasks that you would perform within that virtual machine. It would stop where it feels that there is a human intervention required, and it will ask for my response, ask more for my inputs. Once those inputs are provided, I can just give just like the way when you're sharing, you take control and give control back. You can do that, and it performs everything autonomously. So how much time do I have? Okay. Yeah, sure. So what I'll do is, there's a lot that I had that I wanted to show in terms of security as well, agent security. But these are some of the things that I've already posted on LinkedIn, and I have a playlist as well for you to understand what it is all about. So you can scan that QR and you can check out by yourself most of the agent that I was about to talk about and the agent security. It's available there, and you can check and you can connect me on LinkedIn, and I can share all that is available. So this is what the QR code is all about. I'll just give you a quick context on what Agent 365 is. You saw my org chart, right? So similarly, in Agent 365, I will have a complete view of what the agent is performing, and each agent will have its own unique ID. So when agents are built at this scale and this speed, literally, I myself have around 20 agents which are there. I've just shown about 10 agents there, but there are so many things that I build, I experiment, and that's what is going to happen once someone gets a tool like that. Because anything that is repetitive, or you just give a format or a template and you want the agent to perform, you really want to create an agent for yourself and then hand off that job to an agent. So Agent 365 actually brings in that security with unique identity. It's literally like an employee working within an organization, and the security and compliance and regulation rules that applies to an employee would also apply to an agent. So that's the way you can bring in that enterprise level security for at the agent for every agent that you roll out within the organization. So what is important, what is a key takeaway for you all is to understand, okay, I have a tool, I can just go ahead and create an agent. That should not be the way it is. The data, the importance of data and the agent security is super important. Tomorrow, if you have an agent rolled out and it's not secure, because just like the way we are empowered to build agents, take that quantum leap in the technology that we have in hand today, the same way the bad actors also have. So they'll be looking out for agents and solutions that are available, which can be easily hacked, and that's where you will lose the trust that you have. Even if you have speed, it's of no use if the security doesn't go hand in hand for the agents that you build. Yeah, so it's similar to so every agent that is created will be enrolled into Agent 365, and the Agent 365 provides a unique ID just like the way you would have got it through Entra ID. It's the same way. There's no difference in that. So within about another week or so, with the demo that I was about to show, I will post it. So the way it works is everything that you perform, it's literally like the way I showed my org chart here. Even an agent will have an org chart, its skills, and whom does it report to, and who are the other people who are using that agent. Similarly, you get it right when you go to Teams, or I'm so used to Teams because I'm in Microsoft. When you go to our org chart, it clearly shows I report to this person and I collaborate with these people. So similarly, you have the same experience for the agents built as well. Yeah. So when see, there are ways that how organizations are looking at. One is when you build your own agent. That's when you will have to think about all of that, right? But when these are some of the agents which are out of the box available as part of the license. So there's no token burn. You don't really have to think about all of that. But when you build an agent grounds up, when the last two options that I told you, by leveraging Foundry or any other options that are there of course you'll have to look at the token burns. Yeah, the one that I showed you, you will have to really optimize it, and things like even for safety, like when you want to bring in an agent safety, jailbreak is something that happens very easily, right? And even a prompt that is actually doing a jailbreak, you're wasting your tokens on that for an agent that you would have built. So it's always good to have that architecture in place. It starts with security, and then you have to make sure that it's not wasting the tokens, even when there are threat actors who are utilizing it and burning your tokens. But of course, when you have to build a agent, you really have to think through all of that and build grounds up. The orchestration layer that you build makes a big difference as well, because orchestration layer is the one which pulls in all the information from multiple sources. And the way I didn't show the architecture of how Copilot is built, Once it has all the information, it sends that in in just one communication to LLM, and once it works and processes that information, it sends it back to the orchestration layer, and then the user sees it. So you need to build that architecture to make sure that, but it's not just one. No, it's across for all the agents that you build within the organization. Yeah, even if you're built with like Google, OpenAI, sorry, yeah, any other AWS, you can bring that, you can onboard that because it's part of your organization, right? Just like you would onboard some of your contractors and they would have a unique ID. It could be a V dash, but it would have a ID. It's a similar fashion. So it's not only for first party. Then it really doesn't make sense. There's no organization who would be completely on one product. Like it could be Microsoft or any other. It cannot be on one platform for sure. But there are a lot of tools that are available. Within Microsoft, there are two ways to build it. One is the low code, the agent builder, and we have Copilot Studio. It sits on the same platform, the orchestration layer, and then you can play around with bringing in your external data, your company data, and then you build an agent so that it is grounded on your organization intelligence, right? Then comes the pro code version. That's where you will have to build, you have to select the model, build the orchestration layer, and then you bring in information. Bring in skills from anything. There are tools which are made available. Like for example, even if you build it in Copilot Studio, which is a low-code solution, where you can build agents, you can bring in information from ServiceNow, SAP, any of the solutions that are there. There's no restrictions as such. Otherwise, if there is then it cannot scale for sure. Because every organization are already deeply into many of the third-party applications and services that are there. If we are not able to unify that and have that integrated intelligence, it's not possible to build that. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah. All right, then. Thank you so much, Pallavi.
Thanks,